this too. You lean on a chair because it just got hit with a softball from the other field.
Oh. You can see. Oh my God.
I guess not.
He had to get ready, and he didn't respond well for that.
You really want to try?
For you.
Yeah, let me help you.
I get it. Here, you tip it.
I think you said you were trying to do a little too
She
much.
didn't have to fall. We tape this part first. Well, yeah, if we tape this here, I can try to push this in.
Had to get ready to go.
Push this in from the other side.
Oh, because you had to put the car seat in the
Pushing will not help, but you will need tape for this, I guess. I don't think it helps. Well, maybe. You might want to put one here, just you be careful to not tear your pants. Got hit by ball. Yeah, got hit by ball from the other field. Best we can do. Let me see.
The iron not that heavy.
Are you sure?
5 more pounds. Yeah.
Sandro, maybe you told us maybe
they've got, I mean, the U.S. has a couple of players that
Could have a shot at
could, I mean,
making.
Oh.
yeah, there's some that are, I think they said there's like two or three that are good enough to be on the women's and Japan on the men's side.
But see, there's so many seasoned players. One of them is that
that one works, but a ball from the other field came in and cracked the chair. There she is.
Good. How are you? Morning. Yeah, it was good. It was fun. You guys? Yeah. You feel better? You can sit down here? Yeah, I'm Yeah. I didn't know if you could sit down here. Well, that's cool. Settle on. Is your work burger? Yeah, there's one right over there. Alrighty. Enjoy. Sitting on buckets.
It's not good enough for you, man.
Okay, good. You have a computer then?
Yeah.
I don't even have a. I'm not going to keep scores for me.
I did it for sure. I was just like, they're like throwing solo, and I was like, oh.
So did you do the library?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've tried to print off some stuff for the U.S., but I don't. It's like we talked about. I should.
No, I mean, when I mean, yeah, bare bones operation.
So this is for the U.S.'s page. So I just printed some stuff off.
Okay.
So here, at least we can say we've made a long way. What the scores are. This was last night's.
Okay, yeah. No, I looked that one up.
Okay, so here's that. And then this is the roster, which is let me see if I can find something that's same as. That's fine. That's perfect, actually. Thank you.
Game balls, a couple used ones. I only have 2. I just need 2 used balls. Yeah, 2 more, please. This way? Hey guys. Hello, how you doing? Good. Are they doing announcements or are they announcing lineups or just doing the normal thing then?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Eddie Seymour Complex in beautiful Clearwater, Florida for today's gold medal game featuring the United States versus Japan. Thank you for being here.
Welcome into the gold medal game between the USA and Japan, the #1 team in the world. And #2 going head to head. These two saw each other last night as the USA topped Japan 4-1 in this Junior World Women's Softball Championship. Hannah Adams leading things off for Team USA, the center fielder. Tiffany Green, Michelle Smith here with you. Michelle, two-time U.S. Olympic gold medalist, and certainly a fun week here at Eddie Seymour Field, and it's been rain-soaked for a lot of it, but we're here at the championship game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great week. A lot of really good international softball games have been played. A lot of just a great atmosphere for our sport. We've done some clinics both for some of these developing countries as well as local kids. It's been a great atmosphere. And yes, a little muggy at times and a little rainy at times.
So Hannah Adams draws the leadoff walk as Sakura Miwa in the circle for Japan.
Next batter for the U.S., Nicole Bates.
Well, a lot of these athletes for Team USA, recognizable names from the collegiate season, and also a lot of them are going to be rising stars. Hannah Adams taking the walk, will be attending Florida next year, so there's going to be a lot of these young ladies will be playing their college ball throughout the SEC, the Big 12, the Pac-12, and currently representing Team USA.
And the chopper in front of home plate. That's a fair ball. And Nicole Bates is aboard safely, beats out the throw to first base. So quickly, runners at first and second, no outs for USA.
And Nicole Bates, just so many tools. She's just such a great athlete. Really good year in college.
Next batter for the U.S.
Obviously had a fabulous freshman year at the University of Washington. Saw coach, her head coach from Washington, Heather Tarr, just before the game. Been working with the women's national team, so she's on the women's team.
And now standing in at the plate, Madeline Bubba Nichols, who has had a terrific week thus far, hitting .667 on the tournament. Knocked a blast on yesterday, and she's done it again! A 3-run dinger from Bubba Nichols.
Bubba Nichols has just been on fire. Record-breaking home run for Team USA, a 3-run shot. That actually puts her in the lead. That's her 6th home run. That is the new lead in the Junior World Championships, breaking Stacy Newman. You talk about a legend in the sport of softball, and then also Elisa Palomino, who has had a fabulous career at Arizona.
So jumping on the board early is Team USA. A terrific job, as Nichols knew exactly what she wanted to do with that pitch, driving it over the left field fence. And USA drawing blood first. USA 7-0 on the week as the tournament started on Monday. They shut out Guatemala 14-0. Next day coming right back, run ruling South Africa as Bailey Klinger looks at 0-2. And this one lifted into center field, and the first out of the inning.
Next batter for USA, Alexis Allen.
We saw Team Japan in that bronze medal game against Puerto Rico take care of business. Ito was in the circle, did an amazing job through 4 innings, had a perfect game going before getting roughed up in the 5th. And the 6-3 putout has 2 away. It retires Alexis Allen.
Alexis Allen is actually the granddaughter of Sheila Cornell Dobby, who I played on 2 Olympic teams with. She was our first baseman. Sheila Dowdy, very proud, has worked with her granddaughter. She will be going to Michigan next year, so I love seeing all these great U.S. athletes that have been in the game a long time.
And passing it down. It's a generational game. That's what's so cool about it.
Absolutely.
That love and that passion still permeates, and I think now more than ever, or probably equaling when the softball was introduced to the Olympic Games. I mean, everybody is just on fire.
Yes, absolutely, for the U.S. team, and honestly for Japan as well, Team Japan. This is a program where most of the young ladies representing this junior team for Japan are playing on high schools or colleges or in the Japanese Professional League for the various countries. It's the same thing. They work very hard, a lot of knowledge passed back and forth throughout the generations, and that's why you see these 2 teams at the top of the international rankings.
26 countries in all represented here in Clearwater this week. Some new faces. Guatemala, Israel,
Turkey.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah, Dominican Republic, Turkey. It's great to see all these countries having their teams come in at the junior level, as well as trying to develop their women's programs.
Growing and line right to the first baseman and caught in time, but not before USA gets on the board. Bubba Nichols with a 3-run blast. And that's where we end the top of the first.
Pitching for the USA, Holly Azevedo. Leading up for Japan, Fujimoto.
Back here at Eddie C. Moore Softball Complex in Clearwater, Florida. Gold medal game between USA and Japan. In the circle for the U.S., Holly Acevedo, the first pitch, and tries to leap to grab that one, unable to do so, and Yurara Fujimoto is aboard safely.
Next batter for Japan.
Japan typically with a lot of speed at the top of the order, just going to use the ground, even though it's a little bit soft here because of the rain. That ball takes a little bit of a mishap, so Japan trying to get something business going here in the bottom of the first inning.
We saw them hop on the board against Puerto Rico very quickly, put up runs, and they can do that in a hurry, utilizing their speed, so you always have to keep an eye on them. It'll be especially important for Molapola behind the plate to do just that. Acevedo coming in with 2 wins this week, a .78 ERA in 9 innings of work.
Molapola behind the plate, as you mentioned, Tiffany, a great freshman campaign at Arizona. Very strong arm. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on Japan. If they try to get too far off the bag, she'll throw behind them. Strong arm also to second.
Playing for Mike Candrea, coach at Arizona, the legendary coach for the Wildcats. Acevedo just happened to think before she acted too quickly.
Acevedo.
Now it's dangerous with 2 runners aboard and no
yeah.
out.
Well, will be a freshman at UCLA next year, so a lot of these younger athletes who haven't played that first year in college, nerves, it's very easily for them to be a little bit excitable, settle in. It's tough being in that circle.
Well, of course you have high school and travel ball, but when you get to this level and you're representing your country and kind of moving through the ranks, it's a great way to, as a out is recorded, line out to the first baseman, Harper, who was charging in. This is a great introduction for a different level of pressure.
That's absolutely. International game is it's tough because you're representing your country. It's not just your institution anymore. At USA, those are some big letters. Or Japan, those are some big letters to wear across your chest.
Big shoes to fill as that one stays in front of Molapola, but runners move up. Eddie Shimoyama tags that one into the left center gap, and 2 runs will come across easily. Stand up double for Shimoyama, and just like that, Japan within 1 run.
Well, Acevedo was working from behind, couple of balls in the dirt, and Japan was able to capitalize. So a couple of defensive miscues. Timely hit, and Japan gets themselves right back into it early, very early in this game.
Next batter for Japan,
So a quick meeting in the circle for Team USA. Laura Bird having a quick chat. Oregon State head coach.
Laura,
A great softball player,
Yes.
all-around Olympian.
4-time Olympian, the only member of Team USA to play on all 4 Olympic teams. Just an incredible center fielder, great leader. Love the fact that she's giving back. Natasha Watley, also on the staff, Olympian, played in the 04 and 08 Olympic Games.
There's a lot of speed in that dugout right now.
There's a lot of speed in that dugout. That's right. Retired speed, but it's speed nonetheless. And knowledge, and they're giving back. I love that. Kirk Walker as well from UCLA, a member of the staff.
So the catcher, Hiroya Hattori, stands in. The crowd wanted that call for Azevedo. Blue not giving in. Hattori had an RBI double in the last game. And that one going oppo just past the first baseman Harper, and coming in to score is Shimoyama, and just like that, we're all tied up.
Team Japan just able to capitalize on opportunities that Team USA has given to them. This is international ball. It's about settling in. Team US jumped out early. They're just going to have to settle in, get back into the game and focus. And, you know, again, it's part of learning at this stage, at this level of the game, and what it's like.
This one hard hit to Klinger. Klinger gets the lead runner at second, so there's 2 down, and certainly this is a little bit different than what we saw on last night as the U.S. beat Japan 4-1. Japan held to just 4 hits against the U.S. Lot different situation here. They've already put up 3 runs.
You know, one of the other coaches we were talking about too, Christy Fox, also a member of the the coaching staff. Kirk Walker throws BP, so a lot of great knowledge and history in the dugout for Team USA, and you could see that, you know, just in the play of these young ball players. Bailey Klinger, as you mentioned, great job at getting the lead runner and the second out on that last ground ball hit to her.
The off-speed offering, and that was a nice change of pace from Azevedo.
Azevedo, that's going to be an important pitch for her. It looks like Holly's starting to settle in a little bit, and if she can locate that changeup for a strike, that's going to be a big pitch against Team Japan. Deja behind the dish, doing a good job. She's been busy early in this game. Quite a few balls in the dirt, but she's done a good job of blocking them.
Swing and a miss, and she sits down Mahara. So Japan able to even things up here in the first inning. We've got an exciting gold medal game here from Clearwater.
off for USA, Alyssa Dalton.
Alyssa Dalton leading things off for Team USA here in the top of the second. The University of Louisiana Lafayette.
She's actually transferring to Louisiana Lafayette, right? Had a freshman campaign at University of Oklahoma, won a national championship with them.
So why do you leave a national
know.
champion, back-to-back national champion in Oklahoma?
Well, sometimes I guess you want to go on and maybe play at a different location. Lots of speed.
That one gets past the diving third baseman and dribbles into the outfield, so she leads things off, and the future Raging Cajun is aboard.
Shimoyama with a nice effort trying to go into that 5-6 hole, but Dalton just so much speed, great location, great back control, gets it in the 5-6 hole and gets Team USA back on base.
You'll hear the time-old adage over and over and over again, how important it is to get your leadoff runners on to help create opportunities, and it can help change your game plan so many different ways. You can advance the runner over, you can do a hit and run. There's so many more options with that leadoff runner on base.
Yeah, absolutely, Tiffany. It is all about giving yourself, baseball and softball are numbers games, and when you can get on base earlier, it makes your job a lot easier. Now productive outs, moving up your teammates is a big part of it as well. But this is a U.S. team that has scored a lot of runs in this tournament. They've been very confident with the way they've swung the bat. They've also played a lot of games, though, that have been shortened, so that's an advantage, but sometimes a disadvantage, because even though you put a lot of runs up on the board, you don't get all the innings that maybe other programs are getting.
To your point, Michelle, they've blanked 4 different teams by a score of 8 runs or better.
Right.
Meanwhile, their closest game was last night against Japan.
A 4-1 victory in the semifinal, get them into the gold medal game.
And Deja goes down swinging.
Next batter for USA, Alyssa Brown.
Here's Alyssa Brown, the lefty looking to turn over the lineup and make good use of that leadoff single.
Alyssa Brown playing for Patrick Murphy at the University of Alabama. Had a great freshman campaign.
If you're wondering how some of these players are so young, this is the U19 division. So again, we're going to see a lot of the future right here, and Brown showing off her speed,
That's
racing
right.
over to first.
Well, using the ground, gets the high hop. Again, we talked about there's been some rain, but still Alyssa Brown able to get that ball down on the ground, and Lisa just able to motor down the line, and Team Japan caught a little bit off base. Your first baseman not able to get back in time.
One of the staples of Team Japan and really their national program, whether it's at the junior level, the pro level, or their women's national team, is the fact that they're such a disciplined ball club. I mean,
Yes.
very rarely do you see them make any mistakes.
Yeah, they're typically always in position or very skilled. They spend a lot of hours practicing, as do our elite ball players, and that's what it takes to, to be the top 2 teams in the world. That's why these 2 teams are playing for the gold medal.
And the snapback throw to second base, and a great heads up from Hattori, able to get the lead runner and catch Alyssa Dalton napping. So a mistake on the base paths for U.S. And instead of having runners at first and second now, with 1 out, 2 down.
Japan not afraid to be aggressive and throw behind. Hattori, who is the captain, number 10 of the team, aggressive. Well, and also on that plane, it was unfortunate for Team USA that Brown at first was not able to move up to second base when Dalton was trying to advance to third.
The hit run is on and moving as the runner left the base earlier, so she is called out, and that will do it. So the leadoff single wasted as we move to the bottom of the second.
Leading off for Japan, Shiho Suto.
Back here in Clearwater as Shiho Suto leads things off for Japan. Certainly a great crowd on hand to witness this gold medal game. Several teams that played here this week eagerly watching on. Can't help but just take in this great softball action.
Well, Clearwater is a great softball community. A lot of collegiate games are played on these very fields. A lot of local and travel ball.
Suto, the grounder to second, and way to stretch out was Harper to collect that one in time.
Next batter for Japan.
Harper, the nice stretch over at first base. Really good job by Bates to go up the middle and take that ground ball and make sure that they retire the first out of the inning. But back to Clearwater, Tiffany, you're exactly right. This area, it's been a little rainy this week, but the grounds crew has just been outstanding. And, you know, this is a program, the Clearwater softball program is really run by the city of Clearwater. Kevin Dunbar just does a great job with his entire staff, making sure that every need is met. All these teams are having a great time on the field, playing in one of the best facilities in the country. And then, oh, by the way, I guess you can go to the beach if you have an off day, or
not
you know,
too bad, huh?
Exactly, not too bad. But no, this has just been a great event. All the countries have just been so excited to be here and participate in this Junior World Championships.
And I have to give the planning committee and all the city of Clearwater for not only putting on this event, but adjusting, right?
Yes,
because
absolutely.
it can be a lot to juggle, a lot of different countries. Again, we mentioned 26 of them, you know, that converged on Clearwater, but having to make adjustments because of the weather, change of the schedules, and still accommodate many of the requests that come in. You have to tip your hat to doing so, and they've done so with grace, in my opinion.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Really good area. The mayor's been to almost every U.S. game. Mayor Kretikos is a huge fan of the sport.
The chopper over to second base, handling it, but can't get Miyamoto in time, so the speed flashed very quickly there on that infield single, but a tough play for Bates to make.
Yeah, Nicole Bates doing a great job of coming in after that ball. Really great effort, but again, Japan runs very well, just like Team USA does.
So top of the order, and Fujimoto singled her first time up, and Deja trying to do the snap throw back to first, but able to make sure Suto stays put for now. And taking off is Suto, this time the throw from Deja, and not in time. Boy, this is how Suto turned on the Jets.
Suto very quick.
Excuse me, Miyamoto.
Excuse me, Miyamoto as well. Very quick, just a great jump. You know, a lot of stealing bases at this level is getting a really good jump, making sure you're not leaving early, but getting a good jump.
That one taken high, ball 3. And Kiko Kita, head coach, trying to definitively say take a good crack at this one. She does so, fouled it away.
Well, and unfortunate, that ball in the dirt, so not only is it ball 4, but it also allows Team Japan to move up, so they've got runners on the corners.
Just 60 feet away, Shimamura, and Japan could very well take their first lead of the ball game. So after some deliberations by both teams, Shimamura gets the signal. And steps in the batter's box. And that one painted on the outside corner by Acevedo. She gets called strike 1. Pop, Deja underneath it, so 2 away.
Team Japan had a hit and run on, so trying to move the runner from third base coming home. That ball, though, she was trying to hit it down onto the ground, and what happened is that with the spin, she just popped it up. Great job by Deja, the catcher, to make sure she makes the catch, looks for the secondary play, keeps this game tied up at 3 apiece.
Deja gets the signal. Acevedo deals. That way outside. Well, you mentioned the city of Clearwater. It was in Oklahoma City back in 2015. It'll remain on U.S. soil next year, or excuse me, 2 years from now in Irvine, California. And the runner moves up with another ball in the dirt, but again, great job by the catcher to keep it in front of her, and more importantly, to make sure that Miyamoto doesn't come in and score that lead run.
Yeah, Mulapalo doing a great job behind the dish, just keeping the ball in front of her. A lot of balls have been in the dirt, and none bigger than that one, making sure the runner doesn't advance.
This one, the chopper up the middle, and with the speed, that could very well score 2. The throw in time, and she's out. Great play by the center fielder. Hannah Adams with the gun makes the tag on Fujimoto. Japan still plates a run. And it's 4-3.
Hannah Adams with the throw, just outstanding coming in from center field. Great tag by Mulipola,
USA 3.
making sure she makes Japan go to the back of the plate, and Team USA gets the call, but Team Japan does put another run up on the board.
Leading off for the USA, Hannah Adams.
A muggy Sunday morning here from Clearwater, but a nice breeze coming through to save us just a little bit, Michelle, as we move to the top of the third inning. And leading things off is the young lady who made the terrific play in center field, Hannah Adams, the future Gator.
Well, we've seen she can throw the ball from the outfield, and lots of speed. She'll be a fun talent to watch as she starts her career at the University of Florida with Tim Walton and company. Always a staple at the top of the collegiate game.
Runner-up to the national champion this year.
Well, and what's really going to be exciting is a lot of these women on this junior national team are going to be in the running for potentially making the 2020 Olympic games in Tokyo.
World Championships also will be there next year, and we had the opportunity to call the World Cup of softball and see some of the pieces that Ken Erickson is currently working with, but these young ladies are trying to prove and show that they may be worth a look come 2020. And because you have such a wealth and depth of knowledge of softball, if you're taking a look at this U.S. junior team, are there a couple that perhaps stand out to you that you see that could make a case?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very, very good and talented junior team. I mean, when you just look at what Bubba Nichols has done so far in this tournament, new home run leader in the Junior World Championship. I mean, she's got to be putting herself in the running, as well as a couple of the other women.
And that one lined out to the shortstop. 2 away.
That's got it for the U.S. Madeline Nichols.
And speaking of Nichols, she
right.
stands in. Miwa delivers. And another good crack at it, taking some great swings. That one goes to the fence. So she trots into second, and boy, she has had 2 great cracks at it already, giving the outfielders.
Bubba Nichols just so fluid. You have to love the way she just is relaxed with her hands. She hits the pitch she's given, and when she's just effortless, the way the ball just jumps off the bat, you just have to really love the way she's stroking the ball right now for Team USA.
Boy, the Bruins and all of their history, boy, they've got a special player in her. And what a diving grab, a web gem from the second baseman, Fujimoto. Small in stature, but boy, did she stretch out every inch of her body to grab that.
Fujimoto with an outstanding dive going up the middle. We talked about how skilled this Japan team is, and that's another huge play that keeps a run off the board. So unfortunate for Team USA. They looked like they were going to get something going with that double by Madeline Nichols, Bubba Nichols as we like to call her affectionately. But a great play by Japan to keep the lead at 4-3.
Now pitching for USA, Natalie Lugo.
Back here at Eddie C. Moore Field, Shimoyama stands in against Acevedo here in the bottom of the third. 4-3, the world's #1 on top of Team USA. This is a rematch of the 2015 gold medal game where the U.S. came out on top. As we've seen a new pitcher in the circle with Natalie Lugo coming in for Acevedo. So quick work for Holly Acevedo, and Laura Berg deciding to make a quick change.
Lugo will be a freshman at Florida. And Team Japan, sometimes it is the advantage that you play a game earlier in the day. You've got your hitting eyes on. They're a little bit sharper. They did beat Puerto Rico earlier this morning in the bronze medal game, so Puerto Rico picking up the bronze medal, but that qualified Japan to come in here. And so with a game under their belt already, they are swinging the bat very well here this afternoon.
So Lugo with the lowest ERA on the staff coming into today's game, .60, and more than 11 innings pitched. And again, Japan taking advantage of every opportunity. You look left, you look right, and they're already off to the next base.
Very fundamentally skilled team into every pitch.
Hattori pops it up.
Really good pitch by Lugo. Nice rise ball, elevated in the zone, and Hattori just trying to get on top of it and unable to. So that's a big break for Team USA. They've done a good job of trying to limit Japan's ability to advance runners.
Swinging at the high heat is Kono.
Lugo's got a lot of nice wiggle, really good tight rotation on her pitches, that rise ball up in the zone. And then she'll come right back with a curveball. She'll locate it off the plate and let it come back in on the lefties.
And one of the differences between these two teams. We've seen Team Japan all throughout the week work really quickly, utilizing very few seconds on that pitching clock, which is 20 seconds, and that's something different in their international game from what you may be used to seeing in the collegiate game. Meanwhile, Team USA taking their time a little bit and probably running off 10 to 15 seconds for that pitching clock. And that one grazes the top of her head. Kono appears to be okay. She's all smiles as she takes first base. Coach
pops right back up, a little bit of a smile. Yeah, her coach comes over, makes sure she's okay. But back to your point about the difference between the pitching or the batteries is that Team USA, their pitches are coming from the dugout. So by the time the coach calls it from the dugout, relays it in, it does eat up quite a bit of that 20 seconds. Team Japan, a little bit more efficient. The battery calling their own game, getting some information from the dugout, but relying more on what they know their strengths are.
Well, this one popped into shallow left field. Calling for it is Brown, and that's 2 away. And back to your point, Michelle, is there an advantage one way or the other to either the battery calling it or getting the pitches from the dugout?
Well, for me, I played my entire career calling my own game with my catcher, so I'm a proponent of loving that and letting the battery call their own game, but it does come down to knowing strengths of hitters. Internationally, though, I don't know that the coaches always know as much as the players know. I prefer to see information that comes in from the dugout that's weaknesses and strengths, and then let the battery call their game. So it's just, different mindsets. And it really comes down to some of these younger catchers and pitchers may have their games obviously called at the collegiate level, so they're not used to calling a game. So it's a comfort level also.
We can talk more about this. It's 1-1, but do you see that as a disadvantage again because you're going into international play, and that's kind of like the leg up because it allows you as the player to zone in on the game or make you pay into every detail?
Absolutely. And remember, all right, what did she swing at last time? What did they hit last time? Were they locked in on my off speed? Those are all things you're more cognizant of when you're calling your own game. They tend to slip away a little bit more. So it's a lot of what you want to focus on. Some coaches believe if they call the game, the pitcher can focus more on the actual pitch. But it's also a commitment level. It also is a comfort level. There's a lot that goes into it.
And a dangerous throw from behind the plate, trying to get the lead runner who had a sizable lead rushing back to second base, and good play by Bates to make sure that one didn't get into the outfield.
Really great play by Bates to make sure that Japan doesn't advance. Deja again busy behind the dish, making sure she's scooping up everything. She's just been outstanding for Team USA in that catching position.
That one scorched past the third baseman, but it was hit so hard into the outfield that the runner couldn't score. So Shimoyama now held up at third base, and the bases are loaded.
Japan just doing a good job of hitting the pitch that's coming at them. That pitch on the outside corner just peppered through the 5-6 hole, as you mentioned, Tiffany.
And Miyamoto looks at strike one, had an infield single last inning. Drove in a run in the game earlier on this field and does not do it this time, as that one is snagged by Brown. So a couple of good plays from the outfield, and USA able to hold once again.
That's right. Woo.
Great defense.
Absolutely. Great defense by Team USA, really doing a good job of positioning and making sure that they're where they need to be to get that third out of the inning, especially with that bases loaded. If that would have dropped, that could have been big trouble. More runs up on the board for Japan, but as it is, the game stays 4-3.
Alexis Allen leading off. And 1-1 on the count. So second time through the lineup. Now for the USA Bats, we'll see if they're able to figure out Miwa's puzzle. They were successful in the first inning. A couple of singles to start off the game, and then Bubba Nichols brought them home with a 3-run shot.
Here we go, Nines. Here we go, Nines.
Nice take by Allen.
And now she's got a full count. And it's the third straight inning that the leadoff batter has gotten on base for Team USA.
Yeah, really nice at bat. Especially down by a run here, middle of the game, trying to find ways to get on base. So Allen doing a really good job. And speaking of which, we're going to bring in
Sheila Cornwell Dowdy. And Sheila, you gotta be excited by what you see. First of all, let's have you break down your granddaughter's at bat.
Yeah. It was really great to see her be selective up there. Sometimes she gets a little anxious and swings too early at some of the pitches, and it was great to see her be selective and really be looking for her pitch, which is really important at this point in the game.
Well, and especially being able to get that leadoff position on base, down by a run. I mean, that's huge. That's her job as a DP, making sure that she's making something happen for Team USA, and she does.
Yes, of course. That's what we're looking for. Get that lead off, and let's hope we get a run right here and get back in the game.
So Sheila, talk a little bit about working with her. I mean, you're one of the best hitters in the history of Team USA softball. Incredible '96 Olympic Games, obviously Sydney as well. What do you teach her? What do you talk with her about?
Well, I think the biggest thing is anybody can give you the fundamentals, but you really need to get the mental side of the game, and we've worked on that from day one, and it's worked for her all along, and she's really sucked that up. I think one of the biggest things too that I've always taught her is to take from everybody. You know, even though I'm her grandma and I can work with her in hitting, she's had plenty of great coaches working with her, and to listen to everybody and be able to, you know, pick and choose what works for you instead of just relying on one thing.
Now, you, of course, a Pac-12 great, or Pac-10 at the time.
Actually, Pac-8. I'm dating myself at the time.
But, you know, with Alyssa going to the University of Michigan and trying to, you know, create her own path, obviously knowing the legacy of which she's come from, but also try to establish her own. What have you imparted to her about, you know, kind of being her own player?
Well, and she's been that from day one, and I think that's one of the great things about her is that she's really wanted to be Alexis, and that's important, to not have to rely on me to be, oh, I want to be exactly like my grandma. That's not it. You know, she's had that mindset that she wanted to be Lou. That's who she is out here, and that's great, and that's what's going to allow her to be successful. Obviously, Michigan has a great program, and one of the nice things is it's a lot of the same philosophy that she had learned from the camps early on of going to UCLA, and so she's not having to change her entire mindset by going to Michigan, and she's going to do great there, and got an awesome program, great coaching.
So I'm just going to ask, because, you know, I have some Olympians sitting next to me, the fact that the Olympics softball is back. Just how excited. I mean, what are some of the stories that are traded as Dalton sits down, strikes out here with 2 outs? But what are some of the stories now that are traded? What are some of the conversations that are had, like, All right, they're going to bring it back.
Well, obviously, everybody is extremely excited. You know, disappointed that we were ever out of it because it's such a great game and so popular worldwide. And it's really nice to see it back again so that it's growing again in all those other countries. And that's really what it is with your sport. Not only do you want to be in the Olympics, but you want to see that growth of the game worldwide and let everybody else be as good as you are so that you get that great competitive play out there.
Well, and one of the things that was nice is that Sheila and I did a clinic earlier in the week for Turkey and Guatemala, and that's what it is about. It's about sharing the knowledge. It's giving back, making a difference so that, as Sheila said, that our sport can continue to grow. So, again, Sheila, thank you for coming out and helping, again, one of the best hitters to ever play the game. So when you have that knowledge with you, I had to pull her out on the field.
My pleasure. I'm glad I was around to be able to help. It's exciting to be able to see those countries.
This one driven all the way back to the fence. And Deja with a stand-up double now and a great hit as we thank you so much. Honored to be in your presence, both of you all, really.
My pleasure. It's fun to be here, too.
Thanks, Sheila. We appreciate it. So Team USA looking like they're trying to get back into this thing, as Sheila was talking about, with her granddaughter on the leadoff walk to get the innings started. And now Team USA picking up a big hit here in the top of the fourth inning. Runners at second and third.
Second is Alyssa Dalton.
So Alyssa Dalton coming in to run for the catcher, Deja, in at second base. And now with the USA threatening this time with 2 out.
So Team USA using the ability to use that special pinch runner, able to come in. That's a part of international play. If the catcher is on base with 2 outs, in order to try to speed up the game, you're allowed to put out to base run the last batter to be retired in the inning.
And Alyssa Brown with a chance to tie it up and even bring the go-ahead run home.
Well, you always know it's going to be an exciting game when Team USA and Team Japan take the field together.
We saw earlier this month it was a defensive game, a pitcher's duel, kind of back and forth for the women's national team. Neither putting up a lot of runs like we're seeing here. And in each inning, it's both teams threatening, either team threatening. And you're waiting. Now the pitch clock has expired.
And it looks like they're asking for it to be reset.
Okay.
So at times it's important for the operator to make sure it is reset. Sometimes it does not get reset after pitches. It expires on foul balls or if there's timeouts.
Well, meanwhile, one of that pitch just off the dish. It's 3-1, hitters count for Brown. And Brown looks to be taking all the way.
That's a great take by Brown on a 3-1 count. That's a very good pitcher's pitch. Position where you're ahead, able to take that pitch.
And pops it up. So 2 runners left on base. More importantly, a chance to tie or take the lead. And Team USA nets nothing. Who was responsible for the single that gave Japan the go-ahead back in the second. That one backing Matsumoto off the plate, grazing the inside corner. It's 2-1. Shimoyama on deck. Oh, strike 3 called, and Matsumoto can't believe it. That ends the inning. 1, 2, 3 for Lugo. And just what the doctor ordered for Team USA. We'll see if they can do something at the plate when you come back.
3.
Chance of USA
Back to
filled.
US, Hannah Adams.
Build the scene here from the Junior World Championships. USA down 1 run. Hannah Adams continuing to see the ball exceptionally well. She tattoos it into center.
Well, Hannah Adams
Next batter for USA, Nicole.
be attending Florida next year, showing that she can get things started. Top of the lineup for Team USA, looking to get back in business here and try to get on the board down by a run.
Nicole Bates 1 for 2 today. Had the single back in the first, lined out in the third. And again, chance of USA, rev back up. Bubba Nichols on deck.
Well, interesting here. If Team USA does advance the runner and first base is open, you have to wonder if Bubba Nichols potentially gets walked. It's a foul ball. Bubba Nichols doing all the damage here against Team Japan.
Well, these are the top 2 teams in the world on the junior level and the senior women's national team, 1 and 2. And very well could be a glimpse into the future
That's
a few
right.
years from now, as it's also been a throwback to the 2008.
A lot of great games, a lot of great history, these 2 clubs.
First and third defenders playing in tight just in case a bunt is laid down by Bates. She shows bunt, able to move the runner over successfully and does her job.
Great execution by Nicole Bates, getting that bunt down on a 3-1 count. So now the big decision for Japan is, what do they do with Bubba Nichols? First base is open.
And will they do a verbal walk? That's something that you see in the international game as opposed to pitching out in NCAA collegiate ball.
Next batter for the USA, Madeline Nichols.
And they're going to take their chances, perhaps against Nichols. And a gutsy move here. Like you just said, Michelle, it was Nichols who did all the damage, as the Japanese coach is telling the outfielders to move back.
Well, they go outside, and I can see the catcher for Japan saying you got to come out even more, so they may. Wow, and they come back, so Nichols swings at that pitch. So I think Japan potentially was thinking of walking her. The catcher was saying way off the plate, but now since they're so far ahead, still have to be careful. Even with 2 strikes, Nichols can mash.
Tori setting up on the outside part of the play, trying to get Nichols looking.
They've thrown her all outside. It'll be interesting to see if they try to come back inside underneath the hands. Nichols, though, great hitter, prepared.
And the wind can't help this one, although it's blowing. And 2 away.
A lot of wind. Team Japan very lucky. Nichols with the good at bat. Hits that ball very deep, but stays in the ballpark.
Bailey Klingler, and that one has a chance. It's deep, it's gone! Over the right field fence. And a huge 2-run dinger from Klingler.
The USA jumping out. Gotta love Klinger driving that ball the opposite field out of the park. Little bit of wind blowing out that way, but I think the wind could have been blowing in and it still would have left the park. That ball hit very, very hard. Team USA jumps back on top with that 2-run home run.
So the long ball has done it so far for the Stars and Stripes. And while they took their chances on Bubba Nichols, they didn't account for Bailey Klingler.
Well, in a way, getting Nichols out prevented that from being a 3-run home run. So down by a run, but Klingler just doing damage.
that one down the left field line. Alexis Allen
Base hit for Alexis Allen. Next batter for the U.S.
with the 2-out single.
Great job
Just
by
like Grandma
Allen.
used to do.
Yeah, just like Grandma. Getting it, dropping it in. Team USA continuing to show that they've got some very powerful bats.
More importantly, they're not done yet. We saw this time and time again in the World Cup of softball with the senior national team, the way they were able to put up runs with 2 outs.
Well, that's always what great teams do. They have the ability to score runs in all situations with 2 outs, with no outs. Obviously with 2 outs, quite a bit harder, and that's the one thing about this U.S. team is that they do have a lot of different tools. They do a lot of different things very well.
That one eye level for Harper. It looked juicy and ready for her, but she swings through it. Down to the count 0-2 now. The grounder, the first baseman tries to make the play. She's not able to. And Harper keeping this inning alive.
So a little bit of defensive miscommunication for Japan, and Team USA again trying to take advantage with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning.
There was action and is action in the bullpen for Team Japan, but they watch if the game will stay within reach or can the USA crack it open. This one could be gold. It is the right field shot from Alyssa Dalton. And keep them coming, baby. Keep them on beat.
Second home run of the inning for Team USA. Another 2-run shot. That ball just flying at the yard.
What may have started out as a softball looking about the size of a grapefruit has turned into one that looks about the size of a bouncy yoga ball. I mean, they are just seeing it and tagging it.
Team USA with ability 1 through 9 to hit the long ball.
Well, they keep crushing it. And here's the catcher, Deja. Good cut there from Deja.
So the U.S. with 5 big runs in this, a 2-run shot, and check that. I said 2 2-run shots, a 3-run shot.
Well, you know what? I thought it was a 2-run shot for a second too. So you weren't alone, Michelle. I was right there with you.
All right.
With you.
So Team
Just-
USA, yeah, up by 4 runs.
Yeah. Full count. The pitch from Biwa. On the way. That one a fly one, but it's going to stay inside the park. But not before Team USA. Doubling the score. It's 8-4.
Leading off for Japan, Miyamoto.
So a big top half of the inning for Team USA. They put up 5 runs as Eddie Shimoyama looking to add to her day. An RBI double and a single, 2 for 2 this afternoon.
Starting to sprinkle a little bit important for Team USA, though, to just try to work on a quick inning after putting those 5 big runs up on the board in the top of the 5th. And on the flip side for Team Japan, they just have to try to figure out a way to get on base and try to get some runs up on the board. Both these clubs looking good at different points. Great defense, timely hitting.
And you just feel the pendulum swing back and forth in terms of momentum. All in favor of USA right now. Shimoyama continuing to protect the plate. And Lugo sits down, the leadoff batter.
Lugo doing a good job coming in relief. Really working all our pitches, mixing speeds, great location, and good spin.
And that one lined to the second baseman, Bates right there, able to make the grab. 2 away.
Next batter for Japan, Ayako Kono.
They're right back at you, the Lugo. Able to flash the leather. 1, 2, 3 inning. It's USA able to hold
At the end of 5
Japan.
innings,
They're on top,
USA
8-4.
8, Japan 4. Leading off for the USA, Alyssa Brown.
Kiyomi Ito, the new pitcher in for Japan. She started off last game, was able to get the win against Puerto Rico. Had a perfect game going through 4 innings before giving up a home run to Jamie Hoover. And Alyssa Brown is retired.
The next batter for USA, Hannah Adams.
When you talk about the addition to Tim Walton's lineup in those Florida Gators, Hannah Adams is going to be a great talent for the future. And it's just kind of like, well, do they need any more hitting? You can never have too much of it.
Never. Most college coaches will tell you they'll take any good 4 average batter, any power, smart, high IQ ball club or teammates. That's what this sport's all about.
And being able to adapt and make yourself a little bit more versatile. We saw that this year with Alicia Ocasio, who was an excellent pitcher but wanted to find her way into the lineup more. Just a great athletic talent, so she made herself a defensive player, but more importantly, a threat at the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of younger athletes realizing that the more positions you can play, the more valuable you are at any level, whether or not it's the collegiate level or the international level. See that with a lot of these young athletes as well.
And as a former pitcher, of course, you got to tip your hat to that pitching staff with Barnhill and Ocasio returning. Delaney Gorley having her played her last game in a Florida Gator uniform, but she is with the women's national team. You know, we've talked and you've heard so much about the popularity of the sport of softball and how it continues to gain more and more fans. I was telling some folks not too long ago that, hey, I'm coming out to Clearwater and I'm going to watch some great softball. And I'm so amazed by, and this is going to sound a little probably gender biased, but, you know, a lot of men come up to me and tell me how much they enjoy the sport of softball, sometimes even more than baseball. They like the pace of play, as that's a single off the bat of Hannah Adams, but they like the pace of
Yeah.
play. It's exciting. There's always some type of action or drama that's kind of associated with it.
Well, and that's why pace of play is actually a really big subject in all sports, is making sure that the games are timely, they're relevant. But yeah, it's a great sport, shows well on television or in the crowd, and just extremely exciting.
Now I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate as ball one to Nicole Bates and say, okay, well, you know, as a former pitcher who could dominate, and you look at, this is across any sport, to your point, do you miss the defensive, grinded out kind of games where there was so dominating performances by, you know, a particular player that really controlled the tempo of the game?
Yeah, and that used to be the game at 40 feet where the pitchers were dominating, controlled the game a little bit more. There's more offense in the game. So the offense is good. People like to see scoring. Makes a big difference. I think a lot of it has to do with the strike zone too. You know, if the strike zone is, if the pitchers are pitched too much, it can create problems. But no, I think it's finding that right mix of a game where it's exciting. The batters are swinging, the pitchers are being successful at times as well, and then of course you have great defensive plays. We've seen all of that this afternoon in this Junior World Championship game.
Having watched this USA National program grow and develop it and be a part of it yourself, time to give a little shout out, one or two or a few to some of those who really helped to pave the way and to make it birth really what it is now today and continuing to grow, and really something that's a model for several other countries to kind of follow in the footsteps of. But you know, who do you see as some of the pioneers that you look back and say, man, if it weren't for them helping to make it come about, then maybe we wouldn't see the level of talent and the domination in the world that we've seen?
Well, the first thing is we had to get on the Olympic program, and so there were a lot of people, the Don Porters of the world, the Andy Leckners, you know, that worked for USA Softball, but also the International Softball Federation, to get the program to get the sport on the Olympic program. When you look at USA Softball, you have to go back to the Joan Joyces, the Kathy Aronsons, the Bertha Tickies. I mean, you look at some amazing players, Barbara Nalda. A lot of it has to do with the Ray Bestis Breakettes. The women's major program for USA Softball was huge in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So once the Olympic program started in the 90s, more of the focus turned out to be that. But there have been just so many great athletes that have played this sport for Team USA, but also around the world. You know, Canada has an amazing program. Australia is the only other country to medal in all 4 Olympic Games. China was very strong in the 90s. They're trying to build their program back. And of course, Japan from the late 90s through 2000 has just been incredible.
And that one, again, laced by Bubba Nichols. Nichols brings home a couple runs, and just jacking on the insurance are the Stars and Stripes.
Team USA just continuing to mash on the ball, just shows how talented they are.
Just can't say enough about Bubba Nichols setting tournament records and home runs, and appears to perhaps have everything sewn up in terms of batting average for the World Championship. She came in batting .667, and this afternoon she's 3 of 4 and responsible for 5. That's half of US's runs. And right behind her is Klinger. And Klingler aboard with a single. He hit that 2-run shot last inning. to give U.S. a 5-4 lead. And since then, USA has been just pressing on the gas.
Next batter for USA, Alexis Allen.
Alexis Allen. With an 0-2 count. Runners on the edges. Pulls that one foul. And Allen just being patient, trying to work her way back in the count. Another piece of timely hitting could certainly help the U.S. This one is popped up in the infield underneath it. It's Fujimoto, and it's 2 down.
Next batter for USA, Jessica Harper.
Jessica Harper with 2 outs. It's Nichols at third, Klingler at first.
USA! USA! USA!
So a 6-run advantage for Team USA. They put up 1 more, and they have the opportunity to run rule Japan at the end of this inning if the score is 7 runs or greater, and that's exactly how the 2015 gold medal game ended between these two back in Oklahoma City.
So you know, especially with the history of Japan, and they can put up some big runs, this is important for Team USA. Well, and unable to push a run across, so for Team USA, they leave some runners on the base. 6-run lead for the Americans.
Leading off for Japan, Chisora Mihara.
Bottom 6, and as Japan was able to put up runs in the first and second inning, they've been held scoreless the last 3. You can partially thank Lugo for that. She's come in relief of Holly Azevedo. And Natalie Lugo has held the Japanese at bay.
Lugo has just done a great job of locating her pitches, mixing speeds, and most importantly, like right now, working from ahead.
And when you do that, you have the cadre of pitchers you can go to. You keep the hitters at a disadvantage. Strikes out Mihara.
For Japan, 6 is out, 2 is in.
Japan making some changes.
Now batting for Japan.
Shino Sataki
Shino Sataki.
in for Suto. Well, this one was close early on, a lot of action, and it's been sustained throughout this ball game.
Yep.
As U.S. jumped out to the early lead, then Japan grabbed it back. And since then, Team USA has just been on a tear, utilizing the deep ball to put up most of their runs.
Bailey Klingler, that 2-run shot that started the scoring in that 5th inning. Team USA has not looked back, and Lugo, as you mentioned, Tiffany, just stellar in the circle for Team USA. 2nd consecutive strikeout in this inning, just so strong, moving her pitches around. Nice rise ball to pick up the 2nd strikeout of the inning.
She's had 1, 2, 3 innings the last couple of frames. Hoping to make quick work of Miyamoto. Gold medal up for grabs, and Team USA seems to be in complete control at this point. And that one off of Klingler, able to handle it. She ate her up a little bit, but she is able to make the 5-3 put out.
It's USA 10, Japan 4. Leading off for Team USA, Alyssa Dalton.
Final inning from Clearwater, Florida. Tiffany Green, Michelle Smith here with you. And USA with a comfortable 6-run lead. Alyssa Dalton, 1-1 on the count.
Mihara now in to pitch for Team Japan. She was playing left field earlier in the game.
That one backs Dalton off the plate just a little bit. That one over the head of Fujimoto, and a single for Dalton. She's 3 for 4 on the afternoon, including the 3-run homer. And Laura Berg making a change. Pinch hitter in is Mary Ayakopo.
Mary Ayakopo.
So Ayakopo will take her first swing.
Ayakopo is going to be going to Oregon next year. She's going to be a Duck, play for Mike White.
.26 teams here this week, whittled down to just 2 here in this gold medal game. USA and Japan, the world's #1, down 6 runs as the Americans have been dominant all week long. The chopper, Fujimoto, has to make the play at first. Dalton slides into second. So Ayakopo advances the runner. And Alyssa Brown hitting in the 9-hole.
Batting for the USA, Alyssa Brown.
Oh, and that one hits Brown in the face, and everyone runs out to check on her because you can see she is obviously in pain. They remove her helmet. Good to see she's at least trying to smile through that pain, but that is what you hate to see.
Yeah, it's always scary when it hits you in the head, and that looked like it hit her partially on the helmet, but partially on her face, as you mentioned. It's always scary.
That ball is coming in at a high speed, and the trainer checks her. She says she's okay. Natasha Watley walks with her to first base. Shuto showing a good sign of sportsmanship, making sure she's okay.
batting for the U.S., Hannah Adams.
Some players choose to wear the helmet with the face guard, others do not, but glad to see Brown appears to be okay.
Well, and that's why you do see so many of the athletes that do wear that face guard. It does make a difference, keeps that ball away from your face. About 0.3 of a second to react in high-level softball. The pitcher is releasing the ball at about 35 feet, 36 feet, traveling in the upper 60s.
Torrey tests Dalton. Dalton trying to get a nice lead and just slide under the tag back at second. Well, you know, Hannah kind of reminds me of another leadoff batter for Team USA, played in the SEC, and Haley McClinney, very productive in that leadoff role, and also a center fielder.
Very, very productive.
It's her 4th time on base. She draws the walk. So Miwa, who started off this game, will re-enter as the pitcher.
Now pitching for Japan, Sakura Miwa.
This event, a qualifier for next month in for 3 different events, including the Pan Am Games in Dominican Republic next month. The junior national team already saw action in the World Cup of Softball
Next batter for USA, Nicole Bates.
just after Independence Day. Several of these countries, senior national teams will be headed to the Pan Am Games, which starts August 4th.
It's been a busy schedule for the U.S. team, both the junior national team as well as the women's national team. And a lot of these young ladies, they'll be reporting to their respective colleges very soon.
Oh, flash in the glove and a great play from the shortstop. She's unable to make the play, but bats the ball down and prevents it from going into the outfield and perhaps saving a run. Suto with a great effort.
Great effort. I think, you know, Suto, a lot of these young athletes dealing with the game at the international level, realizing that she has time. She tries to throw from her belly. She probably needs to get to her knees and make the throw. She did have time. The runners have to freeze on a line drive shot. So again, that's as great as these athletes are, you have to remember they're young. They're 19 and under, and I guarantee you next time she makes that play, she'll probably pop to her feet or her knees and make a stronger throw home. Team USA, on the other hand, smart. They freeze, knowing the potential line drive. They have to get back, see it on the ground, and then they advance.
And nowhere to put Bubba Nichols. Nichols, to her credit, with a couple of doubles. A home run as well. And 5 RBI in total. And she's going to add to that total. What a tournament for Bubba Nichols.
Bubba Nichols lighten up that scoreboard.
Next batter for USA, Bailey Klingler.
I think Bubba Nichols has a shot of chasing down Katya Malga's home run record in the Pac-12.
Potentially so. She'll be spending quite a few days in Arizona. Ball always flies a little better in Arizona than it does at UCLA. But the way she swings the bat, anything's a possibility.
Again, another opposite field hit as Nicole Bates adding to her, Bailey Klingler adding to her productive afternoon.
Klingler doing a great job of protecting Bubba Nichols. The one time that Nichols was out, Klingler bashes that ball out of the yard.
Next batter for the U.S., Alexis Allen.
So interesting, Michelle, because we saw, Japan playing in that bronze medal game against Puerto Rico, and 30 minutes after, they get right back on the field for this gold medal game, and it looked like they had some of that momentum. They had already had their bats swinging and kind of in form, but looks like a little gash just leaving this team, and certainly it was a close one early on.
Well, this U.S. team is just, they're relentless. They continue to hit the ball, swing, discipline. That's really what it's all about.
73 runs were scored coming into today's game by USA, and they put up 13 more. What an afternoon for Team USA. A terrific job by the Americans. Team USA 3 outs away from capturing the gold medal here in this Junior World Championships. They did so in 2015, trying to have a repeat affair against the #1 team in the world, Japan. They're on top 13-4, and Natalie Lugo has done a stellar job in the circle, tries to get that one over her head, and Bates not able to get the speedy Fujimoto at first base. So the leadoff runner is aboard for Japan, Shimamura. We'll now try to keep things interesting. Again, a terrific job by the city of Clearwater in hosting this event, back-to-back singles. As the inning moves along.
Next batter for Japan, Reina Matsumoto.
Reina Matsumoto takes a look at strike one. One thing that Natalie Lugo has been able to do, and Michelle's mentioned it, is the fact that Lugo has been able to work ahead in the count. And kept goose eggs on the board for Japan since Lugo took over in relief for Holly Azevedo. Well, Lugo went back to the same spot, didn't get the call both times, so the count 2-1. And this one on the ground to Nichols. Nichols gets the runner at second. And the force play, that was the only one that she could make. So it's runners at the corners and Shimoyama.
Japan always looking to make something happen, never give up attitude. Always very strong. You know, sometimes I've talked to head coach Ken Erickson of the women's team. You know, you talk to Laura Berg, and one of the things you learn in international ball is sometimes the hardest outs to get are the last 3 outs of the game.
It's oh so close, and giving chase for that one was Harper. And why is that, do you think, Michelle?
Yeah, I think it's the pressure. I think sometimes we put pressure on ourselves as pitchers. But, you know, a lot of times when I was pitching for Team USA, I didn't think about them being the last 3 outs of the game. I just kept thinking that the game was going to continue to go on. So sometimes you just have to almost fool yourself and put yourself in a position to just keep thinking every time I step in the circle, I'm going to work on getting the first out of the inning, and then, you know, just continue to take baby steps one at a time. Don't look at it as a daunting task. Like, you know, that's the 3rd or 4th time hitters are seeing you. You just have to continue to do your job, which is work from ahead and get outs.
Swing and a miss. So 2 away now. And Team USA 1 out away from capturing gold.
Lugo just outstanding here this afternoon in release, picking up another strikeout. And, you know, a lot of times pitching for Team USA, that's the goal, is to really limit damage and allow your offense to put runs up on the board.
It's been a terrific week of softball here from Eddie Seymour in Clearwater. More than 24 teams made their way here for the Junior World Championships.
Well, and I think that's just outstanding. It talks about the growth of the sport and how well people continue to try and grow it around the world. So congratulations to every team that showed up here in Clearwater, Florida.
It's been such a neat experience. I'm sure none greater than going home with a medal. USA 1 out away from gold. Japan would take silver, and Puerto Rico already wrapped up the bronze. Diving play. Nichols able to get the 6-3 put out. USA wins gold.
Team USA, just a great effort. Those young ladies working so hard this entire week. Congratulations as well to the coaches. But the junior women's national team for Team USA picks up the Junior World Championship here in Clearwater, Florida.
The final score, Team USA 13, Team Japan 4.
13-4, your final score for Michelle Smith. I'm Tiffany Green, signing off from Clearwater.
2. Mic check 1, 2. Check, check. Congratulations to Team USA, Team Japan, and Team Puerto Rico. Fans, please direct your attention to where we'd like to welcome WBSC Vice President in Europe, Francesca Ferretto, and USA Softball Executive Director Craig Press to present the trophies and medals to Puerto Rico, our bronze medalists. For Puerto Rico, Kaylee Jensen, Gianna Torres, Ariella Jackson, Jonalise Rivera, Jamie Hoover, Kayla Garcia, Odalis Cordova, Francesca Torraca, Adriana Otero, Allison Marcano, Nachale Rivers, Tina Velasquez, Alexa Mora, Barbara Rodriguez, and Andrea Sanchez, as well as Tina Hernandez. Congratulations, Puerto Rico. At this time, we invite E.T. Colvin, WBSC Vice President for North America, and Clearwater Mayor Criticus to present the trophy and medals to Team Japan, our silver medalists. Congratulations to Yulale Fujimoto, Ayumi Shimamura, Reina Matsumoto, Iri Shumayama, Hiroyo Hattori, Ayaka Kono, Chisora Miyahara, Shiho Suto, Miyu Miyamoto, Sakura Miwa, Shino Sataki, Hanaku Shiguchi, Azumi Takahashi, Iroha Suwa, Kiyomi Ito, Karari Oshika, and Marine Asai. Congratulations, Team Japan! Fans, at this time, we welcome WBSC Softball Division President Dale McMahon and John Govia, President-elect of USA Softball, to present today's trophy and gold medals to your world champion, Team USA. Playing for the USA, Hannah Adams, Nicole Bates, Madeline Nichols, Bailey Klingler, Alexis Allen, Jessica Harper, Alyssa Dalton, Deja Mulapola, Elisa Brown, Molly Azevedo, Helen Snow, Natalie Lugo, Mary Iocopo, Alyssa Rivera, Giselle Juarez, Catherine Sandercock, and Mariah Lopez. Congratulations, Team USA World Champions 2017. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats and join us in honoring the United States of America with the playing of their national anthem. Fans, please turn your attention to home plate for a message from Mayor George Criticus, Mayor of Clearwater.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome everybody to Clearwater, to the World Softball Organization. Thank you for bringing these international stars to Florida, to Pinellas County, and especially to the city of Clearwater. my colleagues Bill Johnson and Hoyt Hamilton and Bob Conduff and Doreen Caudell and our city manager, thank you for giving us the honor of seeing these world-class athletes perform. To our ground crew, thank you for all the work that you've done to keep these fields, and our Parks and Recreation staff. To the chief to Japan, thank you, arigato. To Puerto Rico, congratulations. We have Michelle come up here a second, an Olympian who played in Japan, and she was coaching me on how to say, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us the honor of hosting you and having some liquid sunshine. Thank you very much.
And at this time, I'd like to bring the Clearwater City Manager, Bill Ryan, Steve Holman, and Bill Johnson with the City of Clearwater forward to present the WBSC flag to WBSC Softball Division President Dale McMahon. The WBSC Junior World and Adult Championship, Irvine, California. Accepting the flag on behalf of the City of Irvine is Craig Kress, Executive Director of USA Softball.